you're part of this historic event. Thank you so much. We have media personnel from different walks of life that are here with us, from the state broadcaster to private players. Thank you so much for taking time to be with us. And then, of course, we are live online, but take live on the internet. So this is really an exceptional day. I hope I said that right. You take Mark. Thank you very much. So, ladies and gentlemen, today, as you can see, we've got various people from different walks of life, and we're going to hear more about what YahClick is and what it means to the game and how it's unlocking potential in Zimbabwe and the unique edge that it will bring to the media space in Zimbabwe, because this is a launch that will revolutionize the game. It's a game changer. So, being the master of ceremony is my unique privilege and honor today to facilitate the proceedings. Remember, we'll also have a question and answer. Maybe you might have questions that will arise already. You might have questions how this will work. You might want to understand. So we have a question and answer segment a bit later on. But to help us understand more, I just want to firstly invite to the podium the message from the Business Development Director of YahClick Africa. Now, this bio is a bit not even exhaustive, because the credentials that the man carries quite overwhelming. So I want to read this so that I can do justice to it. Now, Kevin Viret is the Director of Business Development Africa of YahClick. In his current role, Kevin Viret leads and manages YahClick's business development team in Africa. He is responsible for establishing a strong network of service partners and developing business models for satellite services in the region. Kevin contributes to the technical and regulatory considerations of the project, and he also works on business processes for the launch and pre-launch sale activities for the satellite capacity. Prior to YahClick, Kevin was instrumental in nurturing businesses and implementing new technologies and processes. In Africa, he has previously worked with MWeb, MultiChoice Africa, Netco Bank, and the Foschini Group in various roles. Kevin holds diplomas in management from the University of Stellenbosch and the University of Cape Town Graduate School of Business. Ladies and gentlemen, please help me welcome the Business Development Africa for YahClick, Mr. Kevin Viret.
Clearly, I have the reverse problem of McDonald when it comes to the mic. McDonald, thank you very much. That should get you to do my profiling all the time. Good morning, all. Thanks for taking time out of your Monday to attend the launch of YahClick. So I often get asked, is this your first time in Zimbabwe? Is this your first time in Africa? The answer is no. I've been coming to Zimbabwe and doing work with a couple of the colleagues in the... That's not me. A couple of the colleagues in the audience been coming to Zimbabwe since 2002, I think it is, Douglas. And kind of know the country relatively well, not as good as you guys. I'd like to just firstly say welcome to Nevin Karame and thank you for taking time out of your day. I've got a presentation of about 15-20 minutes. I'm going to tell you about YahClick, a little bit about YahClick, and I'm going to dive straight in. So, there you go. Right, YahClick is a satellite operator. We head office is in Abu Dhabi, in the UAE. We were established in 2008 as a project that was to service the satellite needs of the UAE government. And soon after the project launched, we realized that there is a commercial service for for the Middle East and Africa, and that triggered a commercial satellite launch, which I'll get to a bit later. The company is Abu Dhabi based, as I mentioned. We're owned by Mubadala, who is the investment arm of the UAE. They manage the sovereign wealth fund and have investments in various sectors across the world. It ranges from healthcare all the way through to ICT. YahClick is a wholly owned subsidiary of Mubadala. There's about 127.2 billion assets under management in the group. Into YahClick. We launched our first satellite in 2011, the second one in 2012. The second one really targeted the YahClick business, which is commercial Ka-band in Africa, Middle East and the Gulf. And as a group, YahClick is the 7th largest satellite operator in revenue terms. That was a 2016 statistic, so that may have changed by now for the better, but that's what it is. When we launched YahClick in Africa, it was 2012, we went commercial 2013. And in 2014 and 2015, we were awarded the #1 satellite broadband operator in Africa at the AfriCom Awards in South Africa. Quite an achievement for an entity that was 1 year old with a pioneering first-to-market Ka-band service. So I think we've done well to achieve that 2014 and 2015. Our journey so far, all the way back to 2007 when the dream started and the plans were put together. I'd like to draw your attention to 2012 when we launched AY2. AY2 launched in April. We went commercial for a few countries I think we were launched with 5 countries in 2012, and in 2013 we just went crazy in 11 countries in Africa. That 2012 launch into Africa triggered a thought process and a strategy that said we needed a further commitment into Africa. We'd already established a business and a management company in South Africa, or in Africa, based in South Africa. And the project then triggered out what are we going to do for the rest of Africa? And that was the birth of AY3, which launched in 2018, earlier this year in January. With the launch of AY3, we now cover 28 countries in Africa, and satellite is up. If you're using the Wi-Fi, that's the system that's going. Then also in 2018, we've announced 2 joint ventures. The one is with the Raya. I think it's a reputable name in the satellite industry. We did an acquisition of the Raya earlier this year. And then a few weeks ago, a significant announcement for YahClick and the satellite industry is that we've done a joint venture with Hughes Network Systems. For those who don't know, Hughes they're probably the leading and the biggest provider of satellite equipment in the globe, and certainly the biggest satellite operator and broadband service provider in the Americas. That announcement went out a few weeks ago and is progressing towards the JV going from 2019. Our fleet, we've got 3 satellites currently. AY1 is the first satellite was launched 2011. We've got C-band on that covers the whole of Africa. It goes single beam all the way across Africa, right up into Europe, and that C-band capacity is traditional C-band as well as extended. I know it sounds a little bit technical, but it gives you single high availability and certainly a hot beams footprint. AY2, which is the one we started and pioneered Ka-band in Africa. That satellite is up. It's been operating since 2012. Very successful across Africa in the countries that we have coverage. And then AY3 launched this year. It's got a coverage of 17 extra countries, and between AY2 and AY3, 28 countries in Africa. We also cover on Ka-band, we also cover Middle East, Southwest Asia, and on AY3 we have coverage over Brazil. These are the 4 products that are mainstream products in YahSat as a company. The one we'll focus on is YahClick and YahLink. So YahLive is a DTH service, it's a broadcast service. It functions on KU band, and that is only available to the Middle East and the Gulf region, so it doesn't come down to sub-Saharan Africa. YahLink is a trunking service. We offer that on C band, but also on KA band across any of the countries that you'll see in the next slide. And that is for dedicated or bulk capacity as a satellite operator or a telco that is available. YahClick is really the flagship for us in Africa. It offers KA band, high throughput satellite, international gateways, tier 1 access into the internet, and a variety of service plans and products ranging from consumer all the way through to enterprise and dedicated capacity. That service, YahClick, is what we're launching today with our partner, Utande. I jumped the gun on multiple spot beams. So really what KA band is, it is spot beams. Traditional satellites use wide beams. KA band have wide beams. And what KA band does, it does spot beams, so it's pencil beams. It allows us to drive high power into a very concentrated area, and therefore we can use smaller terminals to drive a higher throughput of megabits per second and speeds exceeding what is currently available on the traditional satellites. This is our footprint of Africa, and as it's not the only coverage. Remember I said we've got Southwest Asia, Gulf, as well as Brazil. Let me just explain the legend. The dark green are both satellites, so we've got duplicated coverage. We've got double capacity over Nigeria, Angola, and South Africa. That is on both satellites. And the light yellow is the AY2 satellite coverage, which is all those countries on the east side of Africa, as well as the dark green, of course, we've got coverage there. And then the light green, AY3, is all the countries in between that, and Zimbabwe is in that. The satellite launched, the beams are up, and it's live and ready to go. Let me just preempt a question coming out, I'm sure, is why did we launch some of the countries first in Africa and then the second phase on AY3? The first set of countries was planned way back in 2010. Satellite was constructed and built according to that. And then, as I mentioned earlier, we launched in 2012, and with the success of AY2, we then identified other countries that we needed to invest and grow the Africa footprint. It certainly is our intention to remain in Africa and to remain the leading player in broadband services in Africa. That's why we've expanded to 2080. So Zimbabwe is the launch today. A little bit about the YahClick as a service. Typical internet infrastructure connectivity products are fiber, GSM networks, or wireless. Satellite, of course, operates on KU band as we know it today, and this is KA. So uninterrupted connectivity, no reliance on terrestrial networks, no reliance on fiber being dug up, or interference on wireless networks. Every single point in the footprint has a single hop to the internet. So even remote schools, remote health clinics will have the same connectivity, the same experience, the same speeds as those in the urban areas. It's all unique and it's all uniform, shall I say, all the way to the internet. Easy to install. Our uptime, by the way, is 99.5%, which is exactly the same as KU band. Easy to install. Suffice to say, even I can install it. It's a 74 centimeter dish. It's that unit on the side. An installation team shouldn't take more than 4 hours to install it. It's not dissimilar to having DSTV installed. So the DSTV installer base, I may be stealing your part of your thunder, is the typical distribution partner for installing and rolling out rapidly across the country. 4 hours, that's exactly what the device looks like. It can be mounted on the roof, it can be mounted on the side of a building. It's just 4 hours and it's installed. Cost effective, I think I'm going to leave it at that. Suffice to say that Utande will talk about pricing and commercials in Zimbabwe. However, let me just drop a bit of technical nuance on how the technical design of the satellite drives the cost down. If one has I mentioned earlier, KU band uses a wide beam technology. Therefore, you have a power on the ground of 43 dBW, and to have that, you need a bigger dish. That there is a 74. For KU band, you typically be using a 1.2 meter dish. When we use KA band technology, the spot, I said we drive more power on the ground. We then have 66 dBW on the ground, which means we have 50% more power than traditional satellites. Therefore, we can drop the price of that down. So it drives a 74 centimeter from a 1.2, and of course you get faster throughput speeds with frequency reuse. The cost of the megabit per second also reduces accordingly. So the new technology actually allows us to drop all of those things. Customized services is a set of service plans that are predefined, and we've engaged over the last couple of months with Utande on what is suitable for the Zimbabwe market. That ranges all the way from consumer, very basic, moms and tots, granny wants to make a phone call, or the kids want to browse the internet, all the way through to enterprise, small to medium enterprises, large enterprises, and dedicated capacity. There are some technology value-added services that we add on top of that, such as a Wi-Fi, and I'll get into that a bit later. Reach, and not much more that I can say except the whole of Zimbabwe is covered, and therefore wherever you are in Zimbabwe, single up to the internet. This slide has been put up at every technology industry event around the world 450,000 times. And I put it in again because it's really relevant for Africa. The African continent, it doesn't suffer from a lack of broadband connectivity or internet connectivity, but it suffers from a quality service that's reliable and cost effective. If we can get that, and as Yah said, we believe if we can get that as a turnkey solution embedded in one solution, then we can increase broadband connectivity. What does that allow us to do? It allows us to offer services across these 28 countries, but particularly we want to contribute, we want to be seen to be contributing towards the economies of these countries, not only by empowering our local service partners, but also by encouraging e-services, e-government, and all these nice applications, heavy applications at the back, having connectivity. Rural connectivity in Africa really struggles. If we can get those numbers up, we'll see that the 10% equaling to GDP growth will come. It applies to all countries in Africa. I think it's very topical in the country that we're on at the moment, because the turnaround is there. We're seeing this upswing coming, and we certainly want to be part and help to do that. Having said that, this is not a now project. We've developed AY3 The design has been done in 2014, and Zimbabwe has been identified way back then to be a country that we need to cover. Some of the case studies we've done in Africa, or these are solutions we provided around Africa, is health clinics, healthcare, medical facilities. This particular example talks about 30 health clinics in Kenya. It really is, what we provided is the infrastructure. What we provided is the infrastructure in terms of satellite connectivity. And at the back end sits a whole, let's call it a warehouse of technology that has e-medical facilities at the back of it. In very simplistic terms, it allows people to travel in between cities without having to carry physical folders around. It's all online. The medical facility allows files to be stored centrally, and this particular service offers medical advice online into the rural medical facilities. This one is implemented in Kenya at the moment. Government solutions, I'm not sure it applies too well, but it's an example that I'd like to bring forward. In South Africa, and this one is relevant to South Africa, there are many government workers who are unable to get their pension timelessly because they are so distant from the main cities or the subsidiary cities. So this solution has a mobile VSAT device on trailers and on vehicles, and they drive around the rural areas into these small towns and townships. It allows the government employees, whether they're retired or needing to get grants for whatever health condition they have, to get their access to their pension and grants timelessly. This is on a mobile device. It's a mobile tracking device. It gets installed on either a trailer or a vehicle, self-tracking, push a button, 10 seconds later, it's active. National Libraries Project, we've done this in a few countries in Africa. Really what it does is gives internet connectivity to libraries that don't have access. Imagine, for want of a better explanation, apart from the books that are in libraries, they now have a set of computers, internet connectivity. So during the day, this library is the library. People can go and study, and in the evening, it turns into a community center where people can use their mobile devices. People can actually go to this and use it as a community to make calls or access the internet. So it's a dual role fulfilling rural communities' needs. The last one is the schools projects. We like to think that YahClick is very strong in the education sector. A number of countries we've done projects with government education ministries. There's quite a few, so we've got loads of experience. Again, during the day, the school has got dedicated capacity, so pupils have access to curriculum, they've got access to Google, they can research. And during the day and in the evening, that same device, we've got content filtering. So the kids and students, the kids and the teachers only have access to content that is relevant to them and not the material that they shouldn't be doing on the internet. That content filtering we see is a value-added service. It's available. Again, in the schools during the day, it's dedicated to the education within that school. In the evening, that becomes a community center. And it would be wrong for me not to mention that we have attached a Wi-Fi device onto this. So we've got another value-added service called YahClick Wi-Fi. It's satellite dish with a Wi-Fi modem. It generates vouchers, so it acts like a cyber cafe. And also then, the vouchers can either be at a nominal fee, and the school or the community that runs that Wi-Fi has a revenue stream off that in the evening. That Wi-Fi system is part of what YahClick will be offering. This one I could probably talk for 3 days on, so I'll be around, or my colleagues will be around, we can talk about this. I'm about to go into a corporate video. That's as much as my presentation is going to be today. There's a corporate video that's coming up, and thereafter, Never of YahClick will speak. Thank you very much.
The intention of the SKA project is to build the biggest radio telescope in the world. So we found this area which was suitable for astronomy, and we wanted to protect it and preserve it. YahClick is a satellite solution that uses the Ka band, which operate outside the SKA protected radio frequency. People get good signal from the satellite when they're in the Karoo area.
The Government Pensions Administration Agency is the administration backbone of the Government Employees Pension Fund, which is the largest pension fund in Africa, and I think the 7th largest in the world. There are thousands of people in our country that have money sitting at GPA that are living in poverty that we can help. We cannot do that if we're sitting in an office in Pretoria. We can do that through mobile banks. YahClick has helped us give a decent, stable service to people when we're out there.
The area where I live is very remote, to such extent that the police even doesn't want to come here always. Okay. This valley is also known for bad reception. I know some of my neighbours just never have reception. They go into town to be able to go to Winnipeg to get reception in order to do their business. So what YahClick basically did for me is to put me in a very remote area, which I love, staying here, and be able to stay in touch with family, friends, business, always be in touch with you.
Brand Connection actually established as a promotions company, and we slowly started to see a need for doing outside broadcasting for community radio stations. We must be live, and the people need to know. We're servicing a function here, and most of the time it's critical information to get through to communities. So we definitely need to be able to communicate with them on that level and make sure we can get of great audio quality, which is what the YahClick does give us.
Our mother department, which is the Department of Arts and Culture, they have realized that they need to improve the library services in different provinces. In the province of the Eastern Cape, where currently we are using the YahClick system, the internet connection is very, very good. So it allows the community to be able to have access to the world through the internet, because it's a bridge these days to communicate. It encourages people to access the library that is at that particular library.
I guess it's a great honor to stand here and welcome YahClick as our service partner in Zimbabwe. It's been a long journey for both of us, simply because from a YahClick side, we're quite selective in who we're partnering with in terms of experience, reliability, and we're always looking for well-established entities that is known in the market for providing a good service. The Utunde team and the YahClick team have been working on this for, I'd say, 18 months, quite a long time. It was finalized, I'd say, a couple of months ago, and it's with the blessing and approval of the Dande Mutunde board, as well as the Utunde board, that we managed to conclude this arrangement. Personally, I'd like to thank Nevin Kobe for supporting us through all of this. It's been a trying time for both, and your support and your teams have we appreciate it. Mr. Kobe is the CEO of Dande Mutunde Group. It's my pleasure to invite you to the podium to do a presentation.
Ladies and gentlemen, good morning. I would like to extend a special welcome to our colleagues from YahClick, and obviously you guys from the media. Dande Mutunde is one of Zimbabwe's leading internet access providers. And I'll just take you through the history of Dande Mutunde, what we do, why we have chosen partners with YahClick, and what we believe this product is going to deliver to this market. Obviously, it would be remiss for me not to start with the mantra that we are having as a country, that indeed we are open for business. And I'm sure those of you that have been following both the monetary statement that was issued by the Reserve Governor last week, and also the brief addition to that statement by the Minister of Finance and Economic Development, Professor Tuli, and also his short-term stabilization program, you will agree with me that we are now poised for growth. We obviously still have a long journey to travel, but I think the road ahead of us is very attractive. For this year, that is 2018, we are projecting that our GDP is going to grow by 6.5%. And if you have had an opportunity to read the Q2 2014 Portras report, it just came out last week, you will see that the internet penetration is steadily growing. And as at the end of June, our internet penetration as a country was pegged at 51.9%. And we believe that our businesses need internet. Without internet, business cannot function. So as a country, that 51.9%, while it is comparable with other countries within Africa, we think that we should actually be much, much higher than that in order for us to enable business to grow at a very exponential rate. Just a bit about Dande Mutunde. The name is a Shona web. It means a web. I get asked by so many people when I attend these functions what Dande Mutunde means. is the web. And it was established in 1997. And then it was an internet service provider under Utande Internet Services. But fast forward to 2009, we acquired an internet access provider license from Potras. And with that license, it meant that we could build and operate infrastructure within Zimbabwe. And we also then changed our name, as it were, from Utande Internet Services to Landem Tande. So the holding company is now Landem Tande, and Utande is 100% owned by Landem Tande. I will not belabor you with a lot of activities that happened from 2009 to almost 2014, when we were in a building phase and also establishing a lot of partnerships with the international providers of internet. But probably I'll cut short and start with the journey from 2015. In the first quarter of 2015, Landem Tande acquired iWay Africa and Africa Online. This was obviously meant to ensure that we grow in terms of scale and scope. And in 2016, we then acquired YahAfrica. That is on the ISP side. But outside of YahAfrica, we also acquired quite a number of VSAT operators. The biggest was BSAT, and BSAT used to operate mainly in Manicaland. It was then the largest VSAT operator in Manicaland, with presence not only in Zimbabwe, but also in Mozambique, DRC, and Zambia. We also got other smaller VSAT operators, as you can see there, Genesis, Get2Net, Cotec, and IT Anyway. Some of these smaller VSAT operators are now working with us as resellers. This information is obviously in the public domain. As Landem Tande, we are the fourth largest internet access provider in Zimbabwe. And as you would know, ladies and gentlemen, when you are number 4, you don't go on to the podium to win a medal. And therefore, our partnership with the YahSat is meant to ensure that we move from that number 4 to a position where we can also get a medal. But we are pleased to say that we are the largest VSAT operator, which aligns well with what we are launching today. And we want to continue to dominate that VSAT market, not only probably in Zimbabwe, but we've got ambitions to extend our dominance to other markets like Mozambique and probably Zambia as well. While obviously we are number 4 overall, but we're happy to say that our services and our scale on the VSAT front has seen us win a VSAT Operator of the Year award in 5 consecutive years, among other awards. Obviously, we have won a lot of accolades on the customer services front. So, with the size that we are having on the VSAT and all the activities that we have done from 2015, what we did as the executive team for Landem Tande sometime late last year was to stratify the business into 2 operating units. The first one being Landem Tande, our main holding company, focused on the corporates and large businesses. And Utande now focusing on the SMEs, retail, and the consumer front. So the launch of YahSat obviously is aligned to our Utande our Tande brand. But apart from that, we also set back and redefined our vision as a business. And our new vision is that we want to be the most admired technology solutions partner in Zimbabwe. And with that, obviously, came with a new purpose that we defined. And we said, going forward, our responsibility is to enable our customers to disrupt and dominate in the markets in which they operate. So we want to align our fortunes with those ones of the customers that we service. This product that we are launching today is obviously primarily targeted at tourism and hospitality, agriculture, mining, education, and financial services. If you recall from the monetary statement again, those sectors are being looked at as the key drivers of this economy. And therefore, we think that by having a product that is a key enabler, we will obviously be able to assist in the growth of the country. Just to give you a few examples about what we have done as Tandem, and I'm so sure whether it's in one of the slides there. Last year we partnered with the Zanet and we provided equipment and connectivity for Zanet to connect 1,194 schools. And of those schools, 904 of them are being connected on VSAT. Therefore, obviously, this is a huge growth market, especially in the education sector. But apart from that, on the financial services sector, I know the ATMs we're not using at the moment, but we are supporting a lot of those ones. And I hope that at some stage when our financial services are back on their 2 feet, we will see the importance of having reliable connectivity to our ATMs and also to our POS machines. And we are obviously doing a lot within the tourism and hospitality sector, especially on the lodges that are dotted around the country. Just also talking about some of the things that we are doing as a company. This year, we have worked with Potras to connect 16 community information centers. And these are obviously mainly areas where there is terrestrial fiber. And we know that as a country, we've got an ambition to connect also those areas where there is terrestrial fiber. And this solution that we are launching today will enable those communities to also enjoy the reliable internet services that they will need, not only for social growth, but also to drive growth in those communities. As a business, we are not only based in Harare. As you can see, we've got branches outside of Harare. We've got a branch in Bulawayo, one in Mutare, we've got a branch in Vic Falls as well. But outside of those branches, we have also established resellers in most of the towns. And in some instances, we are actually in the process of establishing those ones. Kevin was actually talking about us working with the DSTV installers, and that will obviously enable us to have rapid rollout of the service that we are launching today. Before I obviously talk about why YahClick, I think there is one aspect that I would also want to mention, and this is obviously for the benefit of those of us that don't have in-depth knowledge about Tandem. We are majority held by Masawara. I'm sure a lot of you might know the other companies that are within Masawara. You've got companies like Cresta, Minerva, Zimnat, Sebu Chemicals. So we are the technology side of that business. But then outside of Masawara, we also have another shareholder that is based out of Cape Town called Gondwana International Services. And Gondwana operates in 8 markets. But through their reseller arrangement, they also have presence in 44 countries within Africa. So we've got that regional growth and support from Gondwana International Services. One of the reasons why we have maintained that pole position as the #1 VSAT operator in Zimbabwe is because of our people. We take a lot of pride in empowering the people that we work with, especially our employees, and also working well with our partners. We have a 24/7 service center at our head office at Pegasus House. We have also empowered our customers by giving them access to self-service portals where they can actually check their usage, where they can also make payments in the comfort of their homes. So those are some of the things that have actually driven that growth. But just going back to why YahClick, I'm obviously not going to belabor what my colleague Kevin has already spoken about. But we do believe that YahClick is a partner of choice to us. As Kevin has said, they've got strong reputation, they are backed by the UAE government, and they genuinely, throughout the 18 months that we have been talking to them, they've shown genuine zeal to invest in Zimbabwe. I know a lot of other international players still have some skepticism about the direction in which the country is going to be taking. But I must say that with YahClick, we've seen that commitment from them, and we believe that they will be an all-weather partner for us as we embark on this journey of not only growing our footprint within Zimbabwe, but also maybe probably going beyond Zimbabwe. One aspect about VSAT from the past is that there's been a lot of rigidity in the packages. But with the YahClick, we have actually seen their willingness to customize their products so that they speak to the needs of the Zimbabwean market. And that is very key for us in choosing partners, because we are in a unique position as a country. And therefore, anyone who is coming in with the products that cannot be customized will not help in the growth of our economy. And also, one thing that VSAT has been known for has been slow speed. And here is a partner that is bringing a product that is going to compare favorably with your terrestrial fiber solutions. And that obviously excites us. And we think that the people that are outside of towns should enjoy the same reliable service that the urbanites enjoy. And this solution is going to provide that. And just to conclude, I've spoken about us being dominant on the VSAT side. But outside of VSAT, I've just shown a slide of the other products that we also offer the market. You can see that we've got, on the connectivity side, we've got our broadband, our VPNs, our backups and redundant links. We also do cloud. We have of late also now found our feet on the hardware side. And we currently are operating a shop in one of our offices in Avondale. But our intention is that we're going to roll out those shops to Bulawayo and Mutare. and we also do co-locations. That is outside of the VSAT that I've already spoken about. But before I conclude, Kevin shied away from talking about pricing and on the product that we are launching. I've been involved in telecom for not for a long time, for about 5 years now. And one thing that I've actually noted is that, unlike other sectors, this is probably the only sector where prices have rapidly been going down. I remember when I joined Landem Tande at the beginning of 2013, a megabit was retailing at about $1,200. That's 5 years ago. And today, it's anything between $100 and $250. So it's gone down almost 5 times. And I think during that time also, your VSAT kits were anything above $1,500. And that was obviously a huge barrier to getting the services. And I'm happy to say that this product that we are launching today, in order for you to have access, this kit that you are seeing is only going to be selling for $225. And what we have done is that for anyone who signs up for 12 months, we are providing the kit for free, for as long as you have signed up for 12 months. And then in terms of pricing, it cuts across the consumer sector, the SME sector, and your enterprise grade products. And these are obviously indicative prices that I have with me. On the consumer side, your lowest retail price is about $33. And that product will be giving you 5 gigs allowance, download speed of 16 megabits per second, and an upload speed of 3 megabits per second. All the way up to your business, your capped business services that allow you to have up to 200 gigs allowances with download speeds of 25 megabits per second and upload speeds of 6 megabits per second. So you can see that this product now is going to be competing favorably with your terrestrial fiber. But obviously, we will be able to share the details on the prices. These are just indicative, and we're all aware of what's happening in the market. And I'm just hopeful that we will not be forced to make some few adjustments on the prices that I've shared with you. I think that should basically mark the end of my presentation.
Thank you very much. Another round of applause, ladies and gentlemen, for Ms. Andrew. Once again, this event is being streamed live on Facebook on TechMac, so you can actually go online on Facebook and you can see the proceedings. If there are other colleagues that are not here, you can tell them to do as such. You know, one thing I love about Zimbabwe and the presentations that we just had, very intellectual, very insightful. And Zimbabweans, we are the most dynamic group of intellectuals because think about this, remember July? We're all political analysts before the elections. No, I think that the ruling party, I think that the opposition needs to do this. Then come August, we're all advocates and lawyers. The Constitutional Court, no, I think the pith and the foreground. And then come September, we're all doctors. No, this cholera outbreak. And right now, the monetary policy, we're all economists. By December, I bet we'll be artists when the albums start to come out before Christmas. It's time for us to have our question and answer, and if you could kindly switch on your microphone so that you can respond. And may I please have roving mics across the floor? Thank you. So we'll open it up to the floor now to just find out more in line of what you have to ask the gentleman here which has presented. But maybe before you come in, I would like to find out, Kevin, what makes YahClick stand out amongst competitors?
YahClick, when we launched, in 2012, was a game changer for technology, the industry, and for the continent. So that introduction of YahClick with this new technology in itself allowed us to be different, to differentiate ourselves, and to have a better offering. Why is it so different? Why was it a game changer? It uses different technology to traditional satellite. We've got the two satellites that both have high throughput. They call high throughput satellites. Sorry, is it me now? No. They're high throughput satellites. That, with the technology at the back end of it's a Hughes network at the back. On AY2, it was HNS, and on the one for Zimbabwe, that is Jupiter. That technology, along with the design of the high throughput satellites, allows us to do these high throughput speeds and bring the cost down. So that's really what the game changer is. If we're able to drive speeds up, throughput up, and reduce cost, we can probably say that we're heading in the right direction to have this explosion of technology as an infrastructure in Africa. That's kind of what YahClick has brought, or YahClick has brought to the continent.
Thank you. Ladies and gentlemen, the floor is open for questions. I'm taking questions. If you just show by Dave, we've got a question right there. Just tell us your name, stand up, tell us your name, where you're from, and who the question is directed to, and the question.
That's loud. Good morning, guys. I'm Prime Timber from TechZim, and I was browsing through some of the material provided by YahClick, and I wanted to ask, there's an unlimited free zone in other countries from 1 a.m. to 6 a.m. if I'm not mistaken. I wanted to know, would this be available in Zimbabwe as well? I'm not sure if it's for Kevin or if it's for Mr. Ngube.
So we currently have the free zone from, correct me if I'm wrong, 1 o'clock in the morning. So we currently have the free zone operating on the existing platform, and the same will be applied for the network that we're launching in Zimbabwe. So that free zone is, the gigs are not counted as part of your allowance. Is that what you mean? Yes. So that's correct, we do it.
Yeah. Maybe if I can just add to what Kevin has said. Even in the current solutions that we provide, there is an allowance for that free zone. So we will extend that same product to this new satellite that we are launching today.
All right, thank you very much. Any other questions? Yes, there's this lady here in the third row.
I wanted to find out how much you are investing in the technology transfer. Well, I forgot to say my name. My name is Wendy. I'm on the source.
The Dandi Mutande or so?
For the YahClick.
Perhaps I should start this one first, and we can. So the investment from YahSat is, it incorporates the satellite as well as the ground station and the support. And maybe I'll preempt a question that comes up. that someone has a bit later. The satellite is owned and operated by YahClick. So what does that mean? We actually own the satellite, and it gets managed and operated from our headquarters in Abu Dhabi. We've got the gateways which have tier 1 internet access. So the technology, well, let's call it a hub for differentiating of gateway and physical networking ability. The gateways and hubs and the satellite are all YahClick assets. So that is our investment in the technology, as well as the management and support thereof. We also provide our partners with access to that management portal platform, and they have a central management system which is the YahClick asset that we allow them to use. If we were to put it in, I guess your next question is going to be, what does that mean in dollar terms? Yeah. So if we take AY3, our investment is close on to $300 million US in terms of satellite, the gateways, and providing all these technology platforms. And that is the investment we make in the technology, but we have that as the platform for service partners. What does it allow the service partners? It takes the burden of capital investment for every service partner. Because if every service partner worked in the traditional VSAT space, if every service partner had to put up their own hub and gateway, that means every service partner would have to invest a couple of tens of millions to launch this service. The model we have is that it's a centralized model. All the capital investment is done by YahClick, and we make the platform available for the service partner. So our capital investment close on to 300 million. Aside from that, we also have investment in the country in terms of training, empowering distributors and installers. So through Utunde, they'll be appointing service partners who will train together, and all of those will form part of this economic climate where we empower these people and actually start generating revenue streams from all the way down from Utunde right into the distributors and installers.
Thank you. Did you also want Daniel Tande to respond to that? But that was specifically to YahClick.
Maybe to follow up a bit, I wanted the figure specific to the Zimbabwe project. If you could quantify it for us.
I think what Kevin has explained is that the satellite is not owned by London Town. We've got access to that satellite so that we can provide services to the Zimbabwean market. So the 300 million that he is talking about is the satellite that does not only cover Zimbabwe, but also other markets. And as their partner in Zimbabwe, what we will do is to then provide those services to the Zimbabwean market. But I think what is more important for us as a service partner is that this initiative is going to empower not only the London team to dominate the market that they are already number one, but also the resellers that we are going to be appointing, and also the installers. So it will have a trickle-down effect to the greater part of the economy. And I think that's the real benefit, over and above being a reliable and cost-effective solution.
Thank you. Another question from the floor? Takes him again. Remember, this event is being broadcast live on Facebook on TechMag, so you can go ahead and see the live stream, or you can tell somebody via online to say they can follow the proceedings. You can take it out.
Okay, Mr. Nevanube, when you talked of pricing, what I got was you have not set the final prices. There's an interim structure So what I wanted to say, if I am correct, when will we get the full pricing structure for your packages? Because you only spoke of one on the consumer front for $33. Are there other packages? What is going to be the diversity of these packages and so forth?
Okay, thank you for that question. I only, on the consumer side, we actually have got 5 packages. We've got the YahClick Pro 5 GBs, then we've got 10 GBs, 20, 30, and 50. So those are your consumer packages, and they are all capped consumer services. And then we've got on the business side, we also have got the capped ones. The difference here is obviously your downloads and your upload speeds, and also the data allowances. Then on the business side, it's starting off from 75 gigabits all the way up to 200 GBs. And the speeds, the download speeds for the business services are all 25 megabits per second down and 6 megabits per second up. And there are 4 of them. Then you've got the 2 uncapped services. And the first one is where you've got a ratio, a CIR of 1:1. And that one, the download speed is 10 and the upload speed is 3. And then you've got one with a CIR of 2:1 with the same upload and download speeds. So in terms of the pricing, yes, you are right. These were the indicative prices that we finalized almost 2 weeks ago. Negative, we know that there will be so much movement in the economy in the past 2 weeks. So if you don't mind, allow us maybe a day or two. We'll be able to come back to the market with the final prices here.
Thank you. Do you have another question from the floor? Going once? Going twice? There's no salt. I'll just take this time to get final remarks from Kevin and Neva, and then we can go to the next part of the program.
Either Neva and myself did a fine job in presenting that there were so few questions from the floor. My closing remark is firstly to thank you again for coming out this morning. It's an event that we look forward to for a while, and certainly one that I think is going to have a significant impact on the telecommunications sector of Zimbabwe. And we like to think that will be a contributing factor to the economic growth of the country. I again need to thank Neva and his team for their support. We'll all be around for the rest of the day, and I thank you again.
From the Utanda side, we believe that this partnership with the YahClick could not have come at a more opportune time. And we strongly believe that we are a partner of choice. Our country is ripe for business, our customers are ready, and we are proud to welcome YahClick to Zimbabwe, and we look forward to a long and fruitful relationship with them.
Thank you very much, Kevin and Neva. Ladies and gentlemen, thank you so much for taking time to be with us this morning on this presser of this outstanding launch. YahClick is now in Zimbabwe. So please feel free during our lunch to interact, to ask more questions, to find out more if you have in-depth questions from the two, and of course the rest of the team that is here with us this afternoon now. But thank you so much for taking time. Lunch will be served shortly. My name is Kagoro. I've been your pastor of ceremonies this morning and afternoon. Thank you so much. Just a quick announcement, ladies and gentlemen. Lunch will be served in the pavilion. So you can go just straight out, my left or right.